Hey, good morning, everybody. First off, thank you for joining me. Secondly, what the hell is that? That's a top flow chart from our Discord. You can join our Discord platform from the link below. This is not a commercial. That is what helped get me out of a position yesterday. Going into market open yesterday, I was showing off Discord. So I brought up the following chart. And what is the top bearish flow option? Moderna yesterday. So as I'm sitting pre-market and Moderna's at 202, 201, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't realize that the call option I'm in has the most bearish flow. Let me get out of that trade on open and secure profit. So what did I do? I secured 150% on open. Moderna opened up here. I sold my options. And what did it do? It went down. How did we know it was going to go down? Because as we entered the flow yesterday, we knew it was the most bearish position. That AMD, Microsoft. If you guys are like QQQ, oh shit, Tesla. If you're wondering why these stocks went down yesterday, that's why. So you could look at the bearish and the bullish option, the top chart today. You guys want to do that with me? All right, cool. Let's do it. All right, let me go back in here. Let me show you guys how it's done as well. Let's find the top chart. Let's see if it's correct today. Okay, yesterday it helped save me a position, and I'll talk about my other trades as well. But let's go down to the bottom here. Man, there's so many. Everybody uses this feature. Hundreds of shit. I wish I'd known it was going to go this far. Okay, here we go. So top flow. So we'll just type in top flow. Let's hit return. Boom. Going into today. Interesting. Top flow, negative, bearish flow. SPY, Microsoft, Qs, semiconductor industry, right? Bullish flow. Well, we knew Kathy was buying some Tesla, Russell, SPX. So it's kind of a mixed bag. It's not telling us all that much today, but you can also look up individual stocks. That's what's great about that. Okay, so let's talk about what else is going on yesterday. So SPY, you know what? Let's bring up the SPY chart so we can talk about that too. Why not, right? I mean, we're here to learn. We're here to share. If you have any questions, please ask questions on the side. I'd be more than happy to analyze whatever stocks or look at whatever theories you have. But let's bring up the SPY from yesterday. I've got the 4-hour chart up first. Why? Because for weeks, remember I was telling people we're going to fill this gap. We're always gaps get filled. So we're likely to see something like 380 and the gap fill. Well, we filled that gap. We filled it. So where can the market stop? Well, there was support going up to 377. We could go as low as probably 370. So let's talk about how we can go lower, okay? Because I mean, it's hard to believe the market is so beat up, and so many people are like, "All right, I'm looking for the bounce. I'm looking for the bounce." Not a bad concept to look for some type of dead cat bounce, but volume is strong. And then I was going to save this for later, but analysts on Wall Street are talking about Apple. Apple leads the Qs. Apple leads the SPY. They're talking about Apple, and I'm hearing whispers that I hear some institutions talking about they're going to start purchasing Apple at $120 a share. Then they're going to take a second position at 115 and a third position at 110 so that their average, or maybe I meant 125, 120, and 115 was the rumor, so that their average would be in at 120. You're saying Apple average 120. Shit, you were telling us the other day Apple's got strong support at 135. It had strong support at 135. It broke support yesterday. It hit 133. It's been struggling in the 134 area. So yeah, Apple's had key support. Analysts are just now saying, okay, but they haven't reduced their price targets on Apple yet. So that's something I'm going to pay attention to. When the price reductions start coming in Apple, and somebody did it this morning, some institution came out and they said, Apple is no longer $200 per share. We're predicting 190. That's not what I'm talking about. They have to come down in their predictions to like 140 or 150 if the market continues to tumble. All right, I'm going to speak about the SPY and where it could potentially go to, because lately those SPY ranges have been right on point. 385 rejects. We're likely to see 381. Shit, we saw 381. I was looking for a bounce off 381 based on support and resistance. However, I did tell Discord, and I mentioned it on YouTube yesterday, if we broke 381 on the SPY, then we would likely see 378. Well, where did we close at yesterday? Above 378, but where was the low yesterday? 378.28. Okay, so again, 378. We bounced off that. We closed at 380. So right now, 378 is acting as support. So that's on my radar today. If the SPY breaks down, we pass yesterday's low, 378.28, I would be saying, uh-oh, could be another bearish day in the market today. All right, so my trades yesterday, Moderna, I took over 100%. I showed everybody why I got out on open because it was the most bearish divergent trade going into yesterday's day of trading. So when it was popping 3 to 4% pre-market, I was like, exit strategy. On open, I'm going to get out. Now, I still left 20% on the table. I could have put my ask a little higher and secured better profit, but I was happy with over 100%. Then my second trade, I was actually in a bullish position of Boeing yesterday. The market was getting ripped. Boeing went down to 184.80. I was like, okay, this looks like support. Boeing should have some support. Bought in some Boeing options. What did I do? Secured 28%. Third trade of the day, right? I'm talking about energy, XLE. So the XLE is at 83.70 something, and I said, you know what? Wait till it goes down to 83.51. That is going to be your entry, Matt. 83.51. I shared it with Discord. What happened? Energy went down 83.49. I got my options triggered. It bounced up 50 cents. I suggested to those that might have followed me to that trade, it's okay to secure profit. I'm going to hold mine till tomorrow. I should check myself because after it hit 84, it went down to touched 83, even slightly there under. So I could have sold and took profit. But I'm so glad that I told everybody, hey, you got a decent bounce. It's okay to secure profit. It went down. It bounced back up. What did I do when it went back down? When it went down to 82 and change, 82.88, 82.98, I bought more contracts. Where did it finish the day? 83.50, exactly where my original entry was. So again, I'm still holding those contracts. I could have secured profit like I suggested, but instead I decided to double down when it went lower and then it bounced back up. So I'm still in energy this morning. Anyway, okay, let's move past that. I spoke about Apple real quick. I heard analysts talking Apple could be $100 a share. That would make more sense. That's where I would buy. However, there are bunch of institutions and funds on Wall Street that must continuously be bullish. So when they say that, buy the dip, they're continuing to buy the dip. Okay, what else do we have coming out? Today, we had housing starts coming out at 8:30. After the close today, earnings, pay specific attention. You've got FedEx. Now, FedEx, unlike UPS, has a lot of international shipments. UPS does do international, but FedEx handles the majority. So pay attention because if international shipping comes in good, then it means economies aren't as bad as people think. So FedEx will be a key tell for me leading into tomorrow. All right, Nike as well. Now, what happened over last night? Chinese market went down another 1.3% since yesterday, and Chinese numbers came out, and they are actually, I don't want to call it recession, but they are in a deficit. The same way our country produces gross domestic product, sells product, and usually has a surplus or a deficit, China always has a surplus in their economy. China is running a deficit. So that tells us how bad the Chinese economy is. Why is that important for Nike? Nike sells a whole lot of shoes in China. So due to COVID lockdowns, how will that affect Nike's sales? I can tell you going into earnings, people are not that wowed by Nike. They think they're going to miss. Me, Nike tends to always beat, but so did Meta or Facebook. Facebook always beat until they didn't. So again, paying close attention to Nike, FedEx today. Tomorrow morning, what are we looking for? Okay, on the schedule. Consumer confidence. Okay, consumer confidence, your confidence in the market has been at like a relatively pretty low statute. It's estimated to come in low again. So pay attention to the consumer confidence level. If it does spike up, that could be okay momentum for the market. Next, we have existing home sales on Wednesday. Again, we all hear about housing getting wrecked month after month, and we predicted it 6 months ago. We said housing is next to go. In fact, I predicted it 9 months ago. Told my ex-wife she should sell for max value, and she said, where would I live? And I was like, I have no clue, but you can get a lot of money for your house. All right. Earnings on Wednesday, Micron. So that could be bullish. It's going to affect the chip sector. I happen to know a bunch of players that actually like Micron. So thinking about that. CCL, which is Carnival Cruise Lines. Now, how Carnival is going to turn a profit, I have no clue. It keeps getting worse each quarter when they present their earnings. But understand, Carnival had some good support at $9, pushed all the way up to almost $12, back at $9, now at $8, probably in the $7 range. Let's see where Carnival is right now, because they have earnings coming out. So CCL. I mean, I thought they had support, but I mean, they just keep selling off. $8.02 yesterday, closed at $8.09, below $8 in the morning. So we're at $7.96. I don't know how low could Carnival go. I mean, they have a market value of $9 billion. Somebody suggested that if Carnival got rid of their cruise ships and they made them like oil tankers when oil prices were up and tankers were getting frozen everywhere, Carnival could have made more money there. Okay, so Thursday. What do we have on Thursday? We're only at Wednesday's day trading. Thursday, GDP, gross domestic product. It means you put all the jobs and all the products that we're developing, cars and chips and washing machines and jacuzzis, gross domestic product. Are we selling more shit or are we not selling more shit? When gross domestic product goes down 2 quarters in a row, we're technically in recession. Do I think gross domestic product is going to come in weak? No, because people are still working. They might not like their jobs, but they're still working. And then Friday, I see we have PCE numbers, durable goods, and back to home sales. So again, it seems like home sales and existing home sales and housing starts are all coming out this week. They're not going to be strong numbers. So that's interesting. Anybody holding 381 SPY calls? So let's look at some questions before we start talking about the SPY range. Anybody holding 381 calls? I mean, if you are, you can make comments. We'll talk about the SPY real quick. Okay, on Spotify, bearish. So I'm glad you asked. You know what? Because let me remove this. Let me pull up the Discord one more time, and let's look at Spotify, because Spotify actually showed some interest. So I would think possibly the opposite. But again, the Qs are getting killed. So if the Qs are getting killed, so will Spotify. So will everything else. Okay, so let's add it to the stream. Let's make sure I got this right. Add to stream. All right. So this is what Discord looks like. What I would do, let me just get over to Discord, is I go in the Flow and Algos room, and I'll type in TR, which is the code, and we'll look up Spotify. So we'll look at the net flow for Spotify. Let's make sure it's nice and big for everybody. I'll enlarge it. Okay, there's not much trading on Spotify. It's not as popular as what you can see. Hopefully everybody can see this with me. Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it is looking bearish. You have the cost of calls or premiums here, but let's see what the big flows are. And let's check out the algos. Let's see if there's any algo flow. TR, let's do it again. TR, algo flow, Spotify. Sometimes there aren't enough activity in certain stocks to pull it up. But again, the algos, again, there's not much activity. So let's look at the flow sum. Let's see how much activity there is for Spotify. Now, there's not enough activity. How about big flow? Let's see if there are any big positions. Big flow, Spotify. Again, not enough information. So, I mean, Spotify isn't one of those highly active options that I would enter into. I like options that show the flows, show the interest, show unusual activity. We have the golden sweeps. So, I mean, okay, if I was going to look for a trading idea, here's a suggestion, right? I'll bring up Discord one more time. I'll go over there. Oh, by the way, so we're having a sale on Discord that, you know what, we'll do that in a minute. So option sweeps. All right, so this tells me who bought what, when they bought it, whether it was bullish or bearish. We're using data by TradyTix. TradyTix probably charges $50, $100 a month. So we don't charge that. What I was going to say is we're having a 50% off sale. If you join our Discord between now and the end of the year, you pay $17.50 for something other people are paying $50, $75, $100. So Exxon, you know, it's interesting. I saw this because I'm in the energy ETF. And if people think Exxon is going down and there was a large volume order yesterday, it might tell me to sell on the open. I'm just looking. Okay, what else can we do? We can look at golden sweeps. Again, golden sweeps are someone that sweeps all the options off the board. There was a bullish golden sweep yesterday at 325 for IWF. There also are negative sweeps, Ally Bank, SOX, which is the semiconductor industry yesterday. There was a bullish one on Starbucks. Again, they tend to go out but you were talking about millions of dollars, 1.5 million. So you could take similar positions to what big money is taking. That's all I'm trying to show you. All right. So we spoke about all the activity for this week: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Again, today after hours, Nike and FedEx. Wednesday, pre-market consumer confidence. After hours, Micron Technology and Carnival earnings. Okay. Important. Carnival control a little bit of the Dow, will have impact on other cruise ships, might have impact on airlines. Here's the thing about airlines. People are traveling more. The percentage of people that are expected to travel towards the end of this year, so in like the next 2 weeks, is up 19% since 2019. So we've already eroded the pandemic numbers, but airlines are still struggling, obviously. People are still talking about COVID. In fact, I might have the flu right now, so it's amazing that I sound as normal as I do. Okay, and then again, GDP Thursday, PCE Friday, durable goods Friday. Spoke about a range of the SPY yesterday. Okay, so we're going to get into the SPY talk about support and resistance, because understand, if the markets break down below a certain level, they will go lower to the next level and see if they test support. Same thing was true when we were going up. When we rejected like 2 weeks ago, 410 on the SPY, yes, and then the next level down, and we'll talk about the levels right now. 410 was the top, 406 was the next support. When we broke that, I said puts, 402.50 next level. That same day, we tested 402.50 twice where it held, and then it broke down, and the next level was 402.50 was 398. From 398, we went to 395. 395, we were at 392. All right. 392, we went all the way to 388. Again, we're sitting at 380 pre-market on the SPY. So 388. These are important numbers, because if the SPY does turn up for some type of Santa Claus rally, you want to make sure it can hold 388, because if it rejects 388, if it happens to go up, you're looking at 385. Then we're more familiar with it because we were there 2 days ago. 385 rejected a few times on Friday. I said I would expect it to reject yesterday morning. I predicted 381 on the low, 385 on the high. I predicted a 4-point swing. I was a little off, okay? 385 we didn't get. 381 was the next. So I was saying we'll probably find support at 381 on the SPY, but we did not. That was the next level. I said if we break that, then we're likely to see 378. So the fact that 378.28 was the low yesterday, I will be paying attention. If we break under that level, what is the next level down? 375. Meaning, if we break 378, you look to find support at 375 on the SPY. When you find support, everything that was going down, Microsoft, Netflix, Apple, Tesla, all of a sudden it bounces up just with the market. Now, going further into this week, let's just say it's a red week. And I'm not saying that because I believe it. I'm actually looking for some type of dead cat bounce in some industries. But again, we all know me. I'm sometimes early. So there's a chance that dead cat bounce might not come to the beginning of next year. You know, I'm not usually 2 weeks early. I'm usually like 2 days early or something to that extent. Okay, so 381, 378, break 378 support, which we held yesterday. You're going to 375 on the SPY. And if it breaks that, you're going to see 371. So this is for later in the week. Now, how can I tell you guys that? Great. I want to pull up. This time I don't want to pull up Discord. I want to pull up, let me pull up TradingView again, just to show you the SPY. Let me add it to the stream. Doing all this to myself today. Carlos is out. All right, so we got the SPY. I'm going to bring up the 4-hour chart, which you can see the 4-hour chart, again, takes us back to early November. Now, when we happened in November, even when we went up to 410 on the SPY, I was still telling everybody, we still have a gap to fill. Gaps fill about 90% of the time. Doesn't work every time, but gaps generally fill. So we had the gap where we got support, and that was the morning we opened at 386 on the SPY after closing at 377.50 or 378.50. It was one of those numbers. So we filled that gap. Understand, we filled that gap. Then I go back and I look at volume and the amount of volume that sold off into that, and we got pushed all the way down to about 370. So again, if the market was to go down before it went up, people ask me, dude, where do you see the market going to? I mean, okay, bear case scenario, within the next week, we touch 370, which is another 3% lower than where we are right now. Do we bounce off that? Well, I mean, it would be hard to say. The market's been like shit. Then you're saying we lose another 3%, Matt. Who the hell would want to buy at 370? You want to buy when you see support finally. So that's what people are on the sidelines. I want to buy when there's support. I don't want to buy just because there's a number out there. Because as I just showed you, we could technically go back to that 370 level, right around here. I mean, we spent all this time above, even dating back to mid-October. In October, remember, we had that 14% run in October on the market. We had a 7% run in November. I think December even started positive slightly. Okay, so again, we break 375. We're going back to 371. I just showed you support at 371. Does that mean it has to hold? Again, no, but that's bear case scenario. Bull case scenario is, okay, there was good supply at 378. So even if we dip under 378, let's say 377, 376 and change, all of a sudden there becomes support. Now, how could that happen? It would happen if the Fed was actually going to do a pivot, meaning slow down their rate hikes. If there was a whisper like, hey, man, the Fed's not going to do a rate hike of 25 basis points in January, the market would actually be extremely bullish. Even though it's so beat up, it's amazing how it would flip. How do you sign up for the Discord discount? That's a great question. Hopefully, Cool Chick. I think when you sign up now, everybody gets it. You sign up between now and the end of the year, and it's SOC platform. You can see it there. And instead of $35 a month or $34.99, it is $17.50. So you take advantage. We're no longer doing a 7 free day trial. People weren't crazy about it. So I guess we just did away with it. I'm not really sure. Again, Discord can be used in a lot of capacity. Okay. I will talk about the market a couple times and I'll talk about my positions. And again, I was bullish Moderna. I made 100% my last trade. Bullish Boeing, 28%. XLE. And then you have Tukey, who's been on fire. Now, Tukey did some eyebrow stuff yesterday or something, but then came on and did 3 straight trades, 20%, 40%, and 100% runner. So again, there are people that trade at different times. Romeo loves to do live streams upon market open. I don't like to trade market open because it's too volatile. But a lot of you like to trade the first 30 minutes. So Romeo's there. And then Love is a longer term, shorter term investment, meaning she'll buy an option out 2 months, but she'll hold it only 2 weeks. But in those 2 weeks, she'll crush it. I think her latest option play was a $1,300 option that went to $3,500. So again, hell of a return. If it takes 2 weeks to go from 1,300, and it only happened in 1 week for her. So let's just say 500 to 3,500. I mean, I don't even get returns like that. She made 600% last week. But she also is an intricate part of the platform. She's also a professor at a major university and shares secrets on how to learn. So you got Love, Romeo, Tukey's helping out, myself. You've got Beef Finger and Drake dropping the watch list. So, I mean, there's so much to do. Anyway, those are for if you're struggling at trading. And if you're struggling at trading, the first thing to do is admit it. Oh, great lesson for today, okay? You struggle at trading. You have an account that's worth $1,000. You run your account down to $100. What do you do next? You trade the $100. Anybody that answered, I add 900 more to take me back up to 1,000, that is not the way to learn to trade. You let your account run down. That means you have to play with your account there. If you're such a good trader and you're going to be profitable, then you take that $100 and you grow it to 400. And then you grow the 400 to 800. And at that time, you say to yourself, I just grew 100 into $800. I can invest more money because now I figured out, for the most part, what I was doing wrong. If you haven't figured out what you're doing wrong, say you put $2,000 in, you turned it into 200. You basically lost 90%. Say you've done it twice more, never, ever paying yourself and withdrawing money. If you never, ever withdraw money and pay yourself, then you've got an issue on your trading. Simple as that. You must find a way to remove money from your account and pay yourself. It's hard work being a trader. It's extremely stressful trying to gauge the market. Okay, so let's talk about my prediction for today. If anybody has any questions about any stocks, please ask them. Let me just take a look at a couple of trackers. So what I'll do is I'll track not only the SPY, but I'll look at Boeing. I'll look at Apple, again, trying to find support for Apple, 130, 190. If Apple breaks yesterday's low, then I would think the market's going to be extremely bearish, just like if the SPY breaks yesterday's low. So I'm focusing on Apple at 131 flat. I know Apple was 130, 132 yesterday on the low side, but I'm focusing on 131 flat because, again, If the big dog, and the big dog is Apple, starts to sell off, then we know the rest is coming. So the SPY, which was down 0.25, is now only down 0.19. Again, it's showing some support. I'm focusing on the 378 level. The same way Apple at 131, which is a little under yesterday. 378 flat is 28 cents under yesterday's low. I'm focusing on that. If we break 378, and I mean you see 377.42, if we break it 378 by more than 50 cents, then we're going to touch 375. Okay, I don't like it. I think the market, I think there's so much oversold shit in the market right now. But again, I know that if I pop open my phone at 11:02 a.m. and we're 377.43, I know today the worst has not been seen, that we might see 375. Now, does that mean I'll get in a bearish position? Again, not for me, because I'm holding energy, because as I saw on Friday, some big banks, some big institutions were making energy plays. Going into the end of the year, it makes sense, because where would I want to point everybody if I was a financial advisor? Towards energy. So here's the thing that could happen at the end of the year. A lot of people are saying they must sell their stocks. They must take the loss because it's a tax write-off, okay? So there's a lot of talk about selling right before the end of the year, going in the last week of the end of the year. Same stocks they're going to buy back, just after the first of the year, first, second, third, fourth. Okay, I see someone with a question, and I've been talking about Moderna lately. Oh, is that Moderna? No, yes, Moderna, mRNA. So I was talking about Moderna the other day, and what did I mention I was going to do yesterday morning? Only because, and if you missed the first 2 minutes, I led with the top flow chart from our Discord, which showed Moderna was the most bearish option heading into yesterday. So again, when Moderna was up at 202, 203, 201 pre-market and opened in that range, I was like, I'm getting out. So Moderna is no longer on the top flow chart as being one of the most bearish stocks, which tells me it's consolidating. But here's my secret on Moderna, okay? If you want to know what Moderna is going to do today, and let me just find the chart. I still have it up here. Again, it was 204 on a high yesterday, okay? 187 on the low, closed at 189. Again, people are looking for a rebound play, especially since the stock has interest. But what it's doing right now is consolidating, meaning 2 large trading days all the way from 167 up to 215. 167 up to 215 is 48 points. You're talking about like 28%. So it moved 28%. So yes, long term, I'm going to be bullish Moderna. I'm going to tell you by March or April of next year, Moderna will likely be trading in the 240 range. Yep, 240 range, up 30% from where it is now. However, if today's an outflow day and they're selling Moderna today, then yeah, it's going to go lower. You're going to see 185 today. Yeah, you're going to see 185, which would be 4 or 5 points lower than we are now. Now, if today's a buying day and all of a sudden the market opens and finds support and the SPY goes up a little and you see the SPY heading back to 381 and people say, I want to buy Moderna today, then Moderna could pop all the way back up to 200. That's the crazy shit about Moderna. It moves, and it moves at a brisk and a large pace. So even if the SPY is trading in narrow range of 3 or 4 points, Moderna could trade a 13-point range. So that I would be careful on that one. Again, and here's a quick secret on how to tell if it's going to be an inflow or outflow day. You look at your phone at 10 a.m. after 30 minutes of trading, and you'll either see yellow or red if it's an outflow day and green if it's an inflow day. I know it sounds very petty, very simple, but that's what I do. 30 minutes in, I could tell, like yesterday when they were selling the XLE, when they were selling energy, and XLE was 83.80, right? And I wanted entry into XLE because I thought it would break 84. However, yesterday was a yellow day. So I said to myself, if they're going to sell an outflow, then I'm going to look for $83.50 to get in. And again, that was my entry. It went back to 84 and change. I suggested sell if you're in. I was going to hold mine from 84 and change. It went under 83. It went 82, like 78 or something like that. My position from green turned red. What did I do? At $83, I bought more because it doesn't change my strategy. My strategy when I saw the buying on Friday, when I saw the buying yesterday, told me energy is going to go up. If it doesn't happen on Monday, it'll happen on Tuesday. If it doesn't happen on Tuesday, it'll happen on Wednesday. If it doesn't happen on Wednesday, it'll happen on Thursday. So again, I'm locked into a good XLE position. I am green after I averaged down. Again, I was green, 20%. I decided not to sell. Went from 20% positive to 20% negative. when I was 20% negative, I said to myself, I still love this position. I'm going to buy more. So yes, I didn't exit, but I bought more. What did I do? Well, I sold my Boeing yesterday. I took nice profit. I kept looking at my option chart and I said, this option goes up to $300. That's the top. So when it was trading at $288, I said, I'm pretty damn close to the top. I sold. It then went higher by another 10% to $330 per contract. But again, I exited towards the top. That's what we do in trading. We try and get in towards the bottom, whether it's a put or call, and exit towards the top. So again, okay, spoke about SPY, 371, 375, 78, 381, 385, 388, 392, 395. Those are your ranges. Write them down. Have a great day. If you want to join us on Discord, not sure who's going live today, but hopefully somebody will. Again, I will mention my trades and the next update probably around 11 a.m. Have a great day, everybody. See y'all later.